All right, here we are. So I am live chats. All right, we'll see if anybody tunes in. Alrighty, so we are live heading off to Montreal to see and pick up a new jbod. It's basically going to be the same type of server that I am using for my chia, except I just got off a call with the Filecoin. I guess I don't know what you would call them. They're like promoters kind of thing. So I had a meeting for 30 minutes with this guy who basically explained to me the economics and all of the different stuff for Filecoin. And it's quite complicated. It's not like you just plug it in and then all of a sudden you're on the network. It's actually a complicated project. But I want to do this for several reasons. One, I love building servers. I love trying new things, and I do believe in this project. So a lot of people are looking for something to mine or what have you right now, but this project is more of doing something that I think is the future, not financial advice. This is actually quite complicated. Having to set up a Filecoin server is very complicated. Way more complicated than I anticipated, to be honest. So we're gonna drive right now to Montreal to pick up a new storage-based server. And let me just see here. Okay, so yeah. I see that there's one person here. That's pretty cool. I don't know who you are, but send a message and maybe it'll pop up on my screen. As you can see, I'm driving, so I don't want to be texting or what have you, but I figure I can just let this go while I'm driving down to Montreal. It's about a 2-hour drive, and yeah, so I'm getting this server. It's the same server that I use for Chia, so it's got 20 bays in the front, and then at the back of the server is basically just an open rig, so I can build whatever server I need to in there. Most jbods, you have like a single cable that comes out of the jbod. Nice. 500 terabytes. Yeah, I don't have that much. I think I'm only at 210 or something like that. 210 terabytes, and then I stopped getting more drives for Chia. So this new project with the Filecoin is going to be, I mean, it's way bigger than Chia in terms of capacity. Yeah, jbod enjoyer. Yeah, man. What's up, Christian? Yeah, so anyway, so the conversation that I had with the guy, you just book a meeting with their crew, and they have someone who will come on and talk to you about the different types of people who are in the Filecoin community and what services you can offer and all this other stuff. And it is it's very complex. The economics of it are very complex. Let me just see what that chat is. Oh, the chats. Yeah, I'll do. Let's see here. All right, there we go. This is better. Now I can actually see the chats on the screen here. Nice and legal, huh? Okay. Nice. 1.3 gigahash that I just shut down for. Yep, I know. Everybody's ETH is shut down. I just finished doing a whole bunch of card cleaning yesterday, and I'm going to be doing more card cleanings this week. I'm hoping to put together a efficient 3070 rig. That's my goal, is to keep a 3070 rig. So these should all messages should be visible. Okay. Tristan, you're buying a server with 1.5 terabytes of RAM? I don't even want to know how expensive that is. That's insane. So, okay, if you're buying if you're buying a server that has 1.5 terabytes of RAM and I'm complaining about having to buy, they said recommended 128 gigs, and I was like, okay, that's expensive. Can I, and I, so basically I was like, can I run this off of 128 gigs? And he's like, yeah, you can run it off 128 gigs just to start off. And then you move up to, 512 or whatever if you're expanding. So I can start off with 128 gigs. And you're talking about 1.5 terabytes of RAM? Yeah, I don't got that kind of cash, man. I can't float that nonsense. How about you send that server over, I'll host it for you, and if it goes offline, we can talk about it later, but how about that? How about you lend me that 1.5 terabyte server? Or you can send me some RAM. How about that? Just send me some RAM, because I'm going to need it. This is probably a bad idea, me going to pick up another server, but it's for a just cause. I feel like I really want to get into this project, and it's pretty interesting. So I'm going to be doing a bunch of videos on Filecoin, not promoted at all, just because I think it's a really cool project. And I've also asked to get involved with their marketing. So if they can start sending some content my way, or maybe even tutorials on how to set things up, then that'll be good, because I've tried searching on Google and YouTube for like how to set up a simple server, and it's not simple at all. It's fucking hard. It's like really hard to set up a server. So also you have to have a Linux background, which not necessarily a lot of people have Linux backgrounds. So I have dabbled in Linux. I used to know quite a bit about Linux when I worked at IBM, actually. But now I have lost almost all my Linux stuff. So I'm going to have to rekindle that love for Linux in order to build this server. And I'll be posting the videos on all the stuff and the setups and everything. But it's, this is going to be an expensive project. And what I'm going to have to do to subsidize this project, unfortunately, is I think I'm going to have to sell a lot of my crypto holdings. So I'm thinking about selling about, like $3,000 worth of my crypto holdings to offset the cost of this project, because the RAM alone, as Christian just said here, 185 for a 64 gig module. That seems, I'm assuming that's American. 185, so that's 200. That's not too bad, actually. Christian, if you can send me that, because everywhere I was looking for RAM online, a 64 gig module was like upwards of like $300, $400 for a single stick of 64 gigs. So like, yeah, if you can reach out to me on either Discord or send it to my email on YouTube, maybe I'm looking in the wrong places, because it seemed a lot more expensive than that to get a 64 gig stick of RAM, of DDR4. Because that's what I'm going to be looking for. I'm going to be looking for either 4 times 64, or maybe even start off with 2 times 64 and then upgrade to 4 times 64. So that if that's cheaper than going the 4 times 32, then I'll do that. I think the starting point will be 128 gigs, and that's still going to cost minimum $500 Canadian, I think, for just 128 gigs, from what I can see. So, and then not even to mention the RAM, but the drives. So the guy who I was talking to today, he was saying, "Oh, okay, are you thinking of starting off with a small petabyte server, or like what were you thinking of starting?" And when he said a small petabyte server, I was like, yeah, I was thinking of starting with a small petabyte. Fuck me. So they have, apparently, they have like servers that are exabytes, and they have currently they're in like talks with some major warehouses that are like unloading something like 10 exabytes of storage, just like that. Just flip the switch, and then all of a sudden they have 10 exabytes of storage on there. So he's like, yeah, it's just like any other crypto. The higher the net space, the less yield you get. So if you're only starting at a petabyte, it's going to take you a while to recoup that money. And so that brings me on to the second part, which is hard drives. What am I going to do about the hard drives? If I need a petabyte of storage just to start this project, do I take it from my chia? I mean, I've got 200 terabytes of chia. Do I just say, all right, fuck it, I'm moving that to Filecoin? Or do I try to find new hard drive deals and try to build like a petabyte project? So basically this is going to be a ton of drives. So I'm going to need probably minimum like, let's see, there's 24 drive bays in here. Yeah, I'll be needing like 14 terabyte drives left and right to get up to a petabyte in this one storage server. So needless to say, I'm taking out money from my crypto holdings in order to fund this Filecoin project, and I'm okay with that. That's all right, because I've read the white paper, I've looked at a lot of the stuff that they're doing online, and it seems pretty cool. So $4,000 US. No, that's actually $4,500 US. Holy shit. That's like $6,000 Canadian for 1.5 terabytes of RAM. That's insane. Yeah, no, I don't have that much money, man. I mean, I'm looking at trying to get this thing up and going as cheap as possible. So even putting in two 64 gig sticks is going to be 300 something, 400 something. Luckily I have the CPU and the motherboard and the cooler, so I'm kind of getting that donated to me by the person who's renting my storage space here. So I'm going to be using that to start off with. I already have the graphics cards, so I'm going to be putting in two 3070s, Founders Editions into this rig, and basically a petabyte is what I'm going to have to like start with. I mean, I think at this point I'm looking for the cheapest RAM right now, and then when I want to expand, then I can take a look at where the bottlenecks were in the system, what do I need to improve on, and where the processes are with Filecoin. Like, what are the heavy processes? There's a CPU load, there's a GPU load, there's a RAM load. So it goes in 64 gig chunks into the RAM. So you could start with 128, he said, because it'll go 64, and then it'll offload that into cache drive, and then 64, offload that into cache drive. So you need a terabyte of cache NVMe, you need minimum 500 gig NVMe for the OS, minimum 128 gigs RAM, minimum 16 cores of CPU, And that's not even talking about the drive space that you're going to be donating. So after all of that hardware, this thing is going to be, first off, this will be the most powerful PC that I've ever built, which will be really fun. But it's also going to be the most expensive thing that I've ever built. Technically, maybe not, actually, because of all of the GPUs that I shoved into one computer. So actually, maybe not. Yeah, maybe it won't be the most expensive. All right, that makes me feel a little bit better anyways. So anyway, so we're driving to Montreal. We're gonna pay for this server and drive all the way back, and then probably this week I'd like to put it into the rack. So we gotta put in the server rails, and I'll do a video of getting it set up. I'm gonna have to order the RAM, but I do have RAM for it right now, just not 128 gigs. And also the guy who I was talking to, the Filecoin, I don't know what you would call him, business guy, mentioned he already booked a meeting for next Friday. So he's like, all right, take a look at these informational presentations. Let me know what you think after you've read through these things. And he's like, let's touch base on Friday. I don't know any other crypto project that you can literally book a meeting with a professional and then they go through with you how to onboard. It's it was such a weird concept. So already they're starting off on a good foot with me, because to be able to get that one-on-one with a Filecoin expert that shows they want you to be a part of their ecosystem and they want you to be successful, right? So they're trying to give you all the information before you dive into the project, which is amazing. So it was really cool. So I'm going to join they have Slack, which is weird. I'd rather them use Discord, but apparently they all use Slack. So I'm going to join the Slack channel and try and get some information there. But yeah, it's going to be a pretty cool project, guys. I'm pretty excited to do this. Let me just see the chats here. About 4 times 64 gigs for my computer for $800. $800 American. Yeah, so that's about a little over 1,000 Canadian, which is, I mean, that's a lot of fucking money. That's a lot of money for me, anyways. Like $1,000 just on RAM alone. So luckily I already have the GPUs and I just cleaned them up, so they're ready to go. I have the motherboard, the CPU that's being donated by my tenant. If things go well, then I'll probably just buy it off of him, but it's not being used right now, so I don't have to buy that. Going out to buy the server case now, which is $400. And then I'll be looking for drives. And if I want to put a petabyte of storage in there, I'm going to need minimum 14 terabyte drives. So what is 14 times 24? That's not even a petabyte. I'm going to look that up. Why can't it? If I put 24 14 terabyte drives in this thing, it's only 300 terabytes, not even half a petabyte. Jesus, a petabyte is expensive. All right, I need you guys to help me get a sponsorship with Seagate or some shit. That'll be my next thing. 71 14 terabytes. 71. Holy shit. How did Linus do his... Didn't he do petabyte project all in one server case? I thought I saw him do a petabyte project in one rack, but I think it was 60 drives, or I guess it had to have been 71 drives for a petabyte. Holy shit. Yeah, so this is going to be an expensive ass project. But one of the things that the Filecoin guy sent me was basically you have to put in a certain amount of Filecoin when you start. It's called like a, it's to make sure that you're not just in it for a quick buck, essentially. So you put like a down payment almost, and then over the next 18 months, whatever you put down gets returned to you, provided that your services are online, you know, you have a good uptime, and provided that your systems are all active. So that's fine. If I'm taking this seriously, then I don't have to worry about, you know, shutting anything off or having outages, because I'm going to be leaving this on for a long-term project. But then they have a graph that shows basically when you can hit your return on investment after the initial Filecoin setup. So yeah, so Christian, what we're probably going to end up doing is I'll probably end up, after I fill this jbod, which has 24 drives, I'm probably just going to have to just keep in my rack. I'm just going to keep adding more and more jbods, just plug and play more jbods, try and find cheap discs, and if there's any sales, just buy them at bulk, and then get up to like a petabyte basically, which is pretty cool. I may even have to sell some of my graphics cards to subsidize the hard drives, which would also be cool. I mean, I probably have like 6 or 7 cards that I may not really be using right now, so might be able to sell some of those, but those are only a couple $100 each. Those aren't going to return very much. Like a 14 terabyte hard drive, I think is, how much is a 14 terabyte hard drive? I think a 14 terabyte USD is like $200, 230, 250 USD for a 14 terabyte, or is that not accurate? Linus made the petabyte project, 2 storinators with 20. Okay, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I could have sworn he did 1 storinator with, oh yeah, okay, it was 1 storinator, you're right, yeah. But those are 20, each one of those drives is like $500 fucking dollars. So anyways, I figure I'm gonna start this project, and I'm gonna run with it. It's gonna be expensive, but I do believe in the project and where it's going. Basically, for those of you who don't know what Filecoin is, it's a decentralized storage space on essentially like the blockchain, not on the blockchain, but through the blockchain. So the cryptography goes through the blockchain, which is pretty cool. It removes the storage of like using Apple, using Google, using any of that shit, and you can store it in a centralized network, which is pretty fucking cool. And the plan as well is, and they're getting all these companies to buy in, is for Web3 storage. So as Web3 becomes more developed, all of these projects are going to be storing basically the URLs and all of the information on Filecoin storage, which is because they're leading the charge on this decentralized storage. So that's really cool. Yeah, Christian, I saw their channel, and it's not easy to understand, and I explained that to the guy today as well. I was like, man, I've been watching your content, and I'm pretty tech savvy. I have a lot of server experience, and the people who are doing the videos are not dumbing down anything, which they don't need to dumb it down, but you need to go in a linear path, a linear progression of explanation, right? And they're just already on level 10. Oh, we almost died. They're already on level 10, and they're explaining things that most people haven't even gotten to yet. So their YouTube channel does have a lot of information, but it's all done by guys who are not explaining it in layman's terms, really. So that's where I hope I can come into play. So I'm going to do basically from start to finish what Filecoin is, how to get it set up, why I'm getting into it, because I think it's like the future. And right now the price is shit, so Cloud Ninja says you've watched Cloud Ninjas. No. Was it Cloud Ninja you interviewed? No, I don't think I interviewed. No, I interviewed the poor investor and the guy from the chia plot. So those are the two people who I interviewed. And I have another interview that's coming up in the next couple of weeks, but it's been so hard to get the timing right with me and him. So anyways, this is cool. So what I'll do is, if people are interested, I mean, I'm going to do it anyways. I'm already going to buy the server, so got another about an hour and a half here. I don't know if I'm going to stream the whole time, but it's pretty cool that people did tune in. So I'm glad I'm talking to you, Christian, and a couple of other guys here. Let's see here, who else is on here? Oh yeah, Pedro and Christian, nice boys. And the poor investor was on here, but I don't think he stayed on, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, so the poor investor, actually next week I'm hoping to get an interview with him again. Whoa. Yeah, man. Chia links, you hit me up. I've got I was looking at that email today. I'm definitely down to do a discussion on chia links, because I think chia is going to be becoming a lot more popular as all these miners are starting to look for something else pretty cool. I know Red Panda just did a video on it. I know Chump Change just did they were doing a Q&A, and there was a lot of discussion about chia. And Red Panda gave a big shout out to me and the poor investor for chia content, which is awesome. Even though I'm not specifically just chia, I'm just informational crypto, I guess, content and server builds. But yeah, I definitely am going to be doing more chia interviews and stuff. So chia links for sure. I know we're supposed to be having an interview. So why don't we set something up this week? And then next week I got an interview with the poor investor and some guy who has I think he has 4 petabytes, just crazy amounts. So I have an interview with him, which is going to be pretty cool. Learning a lot about servers from Cloud Ninja. Definitely suggesting that. Cool. What specifically does he do in terms of content, Cloud Ninja? Chia links. No, I am in Ottawa, Gatineau area. In fact, I'm on my way to Montreal right now to pick up a jbod. So picking up another 24 bay jbod, but for a different project, not chia. So yeah, the server stuff is, that's my jam, is the server stuff. You've seen my videos, obviously, so that's my knowledge base, is servers and warehouse and data, all that other crap. So nice. Yeah, man, I go to Toronto. Basically, I think I'll be going, not this weekend coming up, but the weekend after I'll be heading to Toronto. So I'll let you know if I'm down there. When I was in New York City a couple of weeks ago, I met up with the poor investor, which is fucking awesome. And we're supposed to do a live stream, which never worked. But did you know, first off, he's short. So he's 5'9", 5'9", 5'10", but he is jacked. Like, he is ripped. He is fucking ripped. So that was awesome to see him in person for sure. In fact, I have to parse through some of the video that I have of that. A lot of it ended up being thrown out because there was too much noise in the background, unfortunately. So we're just going to do another interview this next week. He's got an exam that he's taking this week, so we'll schedule it for next week. It'll be about chia, I'm sure, and all that other stuff that we were supposed to talk about in New York, but we ended up just drinking and having a good time, so. But yeah, if you guys want, just post a comment on what you guys want to see, if it's about chia or any information stuff that you want me to do, because the mining stuff, yeah, it's all down. That's fine. Make your videos about chia after you got situated with Falcon. Yeah, I mean, the problem with chia, so typically, I'll give you guys this. I don't want to be a news channel. I find the problem with news channel, YouTube channels is your content is only valid for that day, or there's a ton of other content creators that are making that news, and the rewatchability of those updates and that news information is useless. So let's say I do a post on, today the chia price is this and something happened in chia. By tomorrow, nobody gives a shit about it because it's old news and no one's going to rewatch that video. So I try to make sure that all my videos are server builds, troubleshooting, things that people can go back to and watch again and again. Or if they're first time on my channel, they can, watch videos that has nothing to do with the current state of the market, right? So there's no point. There's tons of news channels out there, and I'm not going to be posting every day because I just don't have time, and I don't care to. It's just a lot of work to post, even once a week for me, as you guys know on my channel. But for sure, I will be posting more chia stuff because, in fact, Chump Change is going to have me on, or I asked him to have me on, an interview on Chump Change's channel for chia information. So if I do get that interview with them, they're going to do a Q&A about, inform their clientele about what chia is and how to get started and all that stuff. So hopefully I can bring awareness through that, because his channel is very crypto mining centric, and there's a negative vibe on hard drive mining. So if I can get into his channel and educate his people on, the misconceptions of burning out your NVMe by plotting on it, which is like absurd. I've plotted like 400 terabytes on the same NVMe, so that thing just doesn't really, that myth is debunked, but that's still out there. People still think like, oh, you go through so many hard drives. You actually don't, man. You can buy one NVMe and plot like basically 500 or more terabytes on one NVMe, and it'll be fine. Anyways, I want to get on his channel so I can educate his viewership on chia, because I think it's gonna grow. Even like I said, Red Panda posted a video giving a shout out to me and the Poor Investor, basically just saying like chia is actually still somewhat profitable. It's not really profitable, but it's something to mine for sure. So all right, let's see what you guys got. There's a lot of non-chia news. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. There's a ton of non-news chia content. that nobody is covering except... Yeah, so for me, when Chia first came out, and a lot of you guys came on my channel because of it, I was doing the tutorials on how to, how to plot. A lot of that stuff wasn't known yet. A lot of it was command line options, and Mad Max was just coming into the space. The configurations weren't as optimized. So when I first started the channel, I was doing tutorials and information sessions on how to get started with Chia, what it is, and all that other stuff. But I feel like if you want that information now, if you're just getting into it now, you can find that information. It's out there, and I don't need to double up on that type of information as well. So I'm trying to find like a fine line of new content, non-news content, and something that I want to do, right? Something that I think is really cool. So this Filecoin thing, although it's going to bankrupt me, I think their project is pretty cool, and I really like where they're going with it. So even if I invest a ton of money into this and it fails, I still believed in the project and I went for it, right? So that's kind of my thought process. Not a lot of people are going to be able to do what I'm doing here. Although a lot of you guys with the Chia have really good CPUs, have a ton of storage, and you could convert to, you could start to convert to Filecoin if you ever so desired after whatever I find out. I mean, it's going to be a couple of months of me figuring this out, but anyways, it's all part and parcel of what we're all looking for right now anyways. Yeah, Chia is a huge upside because the structure and NFT markets. Yeah, I feel like Chia needs to get into DeFi, but I don't think their transaction time is fast enough for DeFi, so I think that's why they stayed away from it. I would also like to see Chia on bigger exchanges, more well-known, whether it's Coinbase or Binance, or get onto like a major exchange. I'm not sure if that would help or detriment the project in all reality. It will increase the transactions for sure. People will buy Chia and sell Chia a lot more readily available. Like if it goes out on Coinbase or if it goes out on Newton or Binance, people will be able to buy the project and sell the project a lot. So there'll be more fluctuation, variable fluctuation within the price. Because right now, I mean, it goes up and down a couple of bucks here and there, but that's basically because the transactions and number of transactions of Chia are very limited to its own basically network. If it was available on Binance and Coinbase, it might just even out where the volume of trades, just higher trade volume, but just evens out the price. So I don't know. I just think awareness of Chia is so little that they need to figure out their marketing scheme, and it's not there. They got no marketing. They got a good product that nobody really can use yet. So anyways, that's my spin on Chia. I'm sure we'll get the poor investors comments on here next week for sure. Yeah, like again, I could do another tutorial on how to set it up, but Chia is just so easy to do that, and there's so many videos out there. You fucking open up the thing, you double click the install, you say start plotting, and then that's it. That's the Chia. That's it. You're done. You're doing it. So I don't need to do any more videos on creating Chia specifically, but if I'm adding a new jbod to my Chia server farm, then I'll do that. I'll do this Filecoin stuff that I'm doing, and other GPU stuff that I'm doing. So, and if there's anything else you guys want me to do, then I'll think about it for sure. But so keep up the QA. Let me know. Is there anything else you guys want to know about me and all my nonsense, or any of the gossip around the other YouTube channels? I can tell you all about that stuff. I could even talk to you about my apology video, which most ridiculous situation ever. But anyways, So, all right. Yeah, we've only got like an hour left of until I'm at this guy's place. That's awesome. I'm gonna need a coffee for sure, though. Got to pick up a Tim Hortons. Got to pick up a Tim Hortons. It's a Narco. It's called Narco. Narco, I believe. So if you've watched my latest chia upgrade video, it's the exact same one. So it's got 20 bays in the front, and then there's nothing in the back. And I'm able to put another 4 drives up at the top. So that's what I'm going to do with this one. I'm going to have to Dremel out the top so that I can put in more drive bays, more drives at the very top. And also in this server, I'm going to be putting in 2 3070 Founders editions, along with the 32-core CPU, 128 gigs of RAM, and I think a 2.5 gigabit network card. So yeah, so this thing is going to be a beast, but it's going to be empty for the time being. It's like I got to look for drives. I think what I'm going to do is I might take out some of the 14 terabyte drives from my Chia. I don't know. I have a meeting with the guy on Friday, and he asked me to put together how much storage I think I'm going to start off with. And I'm going to look at his documents that he sent me, basically. And I mentioned to him that, return on investment is not a huge focus of mine at this point, because I'm really interested in the project as a project, and I just want to get involved to start. So I'm not so concerned about making my money back right away, or even, in a year or 2 from now. I mean, I'm not making any money back on Chia, and I'm still doing Chia, right? Like, I'm making $2 a day from Chia, and I spent thousands of dollars on hard drives. So I'm never seeing that money again. So obviously, I'm not new to taking the L on joining a project, for sure. But yeah, so this one is going to be interesting, because I'm going to need multiple jbods, like you guys pointed out. If I want a petabyte, maybe I can reach out to Storinator, actually. That is a good point. Okay. That is a good point. Let's say I reached out to Storinator and they were able to give me a review product with one of their like 60 hard drive jbods. That is what would make this a lot easier. Okay, maybe that's the route we'll go. So we'll do this as a step 1. Put in whatever 300 terabytes into this one server, get it going, and then if I want to expand, I'm just going to be getting like one of those massive jbods that has like 60 plus drives, and then just toss in the drives. Anyways, it's going to be exciting, man. I'm pretty excited. I appreciate you guys stopping by and talking to me. Yo! How are you doing, bud? Good looking out. You've missed the whole discussion. You're gonna have to talk to the guys in the chat about what I'm doing here. It's a big long excursion here. But heading off, buying another server, getting ready for a Filecoin server, which is going to be expensive as all hell, and pretty cool, actually. I'm pretty excited to get it going, but it's gonna push my budget and limitations of what I can afford or do. So it's going to be fun though. I'm going to have to take out some of my crypto holdings though. Now that's an issue. Oh my goodness, man. Go back to bed. Go back to bed. I'll message you about all of this. Yo, Ryan, bro, what's up, bud? I'm driving to your house to pick up that motherboard. No, I think it's safe to say that motherboard is dead. That's too bad. I haven't posted the video of your troubleshooting, unfortunately. Just got a lot going on, including this Filecoin excursion that we're on right now. Sorry for the high-pitched sound. I'm on a cement road right now, and this is the noise that it makes, so nothing I can really do about that. It's not an asphalt, it's a cement road. It's like I'm in a server house. So, Ryan, in terms of that motherboard I sent you, the symptoms that I had are different from yours, which makes me feel like there was something else that happened in shipping, because the symptoms I had with that board was I could get 6 cards showing up. However, they would show up as malfunctioning. Like in HiveOS, they would have like 4 of the cards would be malfunctioning, or it would just say malfunction. And then, so I thought it was specific PCI lanes. So I was trying to do deductive reasoning on which PCI lanes are still working. And then it just got to the point where I was like, this is fucking insane. I'm not getting paid for this. And I'm just gonna sell them a motherboard. So once I did that, I put in one of my motherboards and it worked perfect. So when I sent it to you and then you said that you have different symptoms on the motherboard where nothing worked, that was weird. So I feel like something may have happened in shipping. When you got it, it was bubble wrapped, right? Like it was like, I feel like you could have tossed that thing around and it wouldn't really break worse than it already was. Or was it popped? Was the bubble wrap popped? Or I don't know. What was the shape it was in when you got? Yeah, it was well packaged. Okay, so that's what I thought. Oh, geez, man, you've got less than 30 minutes to go to work. Fucking early riser, boy. Well, thanks for tuning in. You didn't have to, but that's awesome. I always love seeing your name on the comments of my videos. It makes me actually like feel like there's somebody out there, even if it's 5 a.m. their time. There's somebody out there that's actually paying attention to this nonsense that I post all the time. So yeah, Ryan, I wouldn't put too much work into that motherboard. I think it's just it's a dead cause. It would have been cool if you were able to get it to work, but again, it cost me $30 to ship it to you. It's not even worth the $30 that I shipped it to you, now that it doesn't even work at all. So, but either way, that was an awesome video that you sent me about how you were troubleshooting it. I did not understand anything you were talking about. My troubleshooting techniques are plug it in, it's not working, plug it in the next one, it's not working, plug it in the next one. Yeah. Well, this is another journey. So basically what I'm going to do when I get to this guy's house, I'm going to pick up the server. Then I'm probably going to go out for food. It'd be pretty cool. Just have a beer with you guys and have some food and just be like, all right, I'm in Montreal. We picked up this server. And then we're going to head home. The plan will be when I get home, I'm gonna have to get this thing set up. Oh, hold on. There we go. Oh yeah, you're down in Bangkok? Oh my god. Yeah, so I was in Bangkok for 2 weeks and I loved it. It was amazing. But again, I didn't drive. I wouldn't drive there for sure. But their transit system is pretty good. But there's just so many people always like. Bangkok was awesome, man. I would go back there in a second. I did not experience the what is it? What do they call them? The tourist Bangkok, where you do all the stuff you're not supposed to do. You get into all the bad, you know, the lady. Hey guys, I don't know if you're still there. I guess I went through a dead patch for the cell service. Sorry about that. That kind of sucks. Yeah, I mean, it probably for the best, because I was talking about all the lady boys in Bangkok, where basically they where they pride themselves on tricking you to think that they're a woman. So when I was there was no messing around with that type of stuff for sure. I was just like, you guys are awesome. Yeah, you fooled me. You're good. I'm not messing with you guys. Oh, that's a good. Yeah, that's the. So Ryan, you're talking about the GUI, right? Basically, if it restarts, I think. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's a really good question, especially on Windows, if you have everything all in one. Because so for me, I know if my system shuts off, I don't really care, because, well, actually I do care, because all my Plex is on there, so I get notified if my system reboots. And so as soon as my system reboots, or turns off, I know I get notified that my Plex is down. So I log in and then I turn it back on. There was a point when I had a separate full node, and if that restarted, I didn't know if it was going to restart. So that's a good question, actually. I'm sure there's automation, which is what I think. I don't even know how you say this name. I always think of Abrams, but you're not Abrams. You're ABMNS. How do I pronounce that phonetically? Abbins? I'm just gonna start calling you Abrams. I'm like, oh, there's Abrams. No, it's Abbinus. So yeah, that's a good question, Ryan. Maybe I could do some research and do a video on that, actually. See there, that's a good content video, because I don't know if that's out there very, very much. Basically starting it as a service in the back end, so that you don't have to select your wallet. It'll just automatically boot every time you load. Oh man, it wasn't just one. There were so many of them. Everywhere I went, there were fucking ladyboys everywhere. It was crazy, and some of them were extremely convincing. Nice to meet you, Cedric. I'm Derek. For those of you who don't know, Custom Computing's name is Derek, and I'm not worried about sending that out there, because I have a ton of other channels. Well, not a ton of other channels, but I used to be an athlete, so if you really wanted to find out who I was, you can search me and you'd find me online. So I'm not hiding my identity. I used to be a Canadian athlete, professional Canadian athlete. So, and I played hockey last night actually, and I have never felt so out of shape in my life. So that means I need to get back into the weight room ASAP. It was embarrassing. It was bad. It was bad. Yeah, I think Ryan, actually, there was a couple of times when I had my full node and it would, shut down or restart, and I wouldn't know for a couple of weeks. I'd turn it back on, I'd be like, oh, it's syncing. Oh well, maybe I lost like 30 cents. I'm not too worried about not generating any chia at this point. So that video, and I'm gonna have to be a little bit careful on how I explain what happened. The previous video, which I basically was calling out a lot of YouTubers that were shilling, not disclosing their business with Flux or their business with Octominers and stuff like that. And I put out a video basically saying to the viewers what I wanted to get across, and I didn't really necessarily mean to be as overtly aggressive as I was, although I kind of was when I knew what I was doing when I made the video. Anyways, there was so much backlash from the other content creators during the merge about that video. It was really awkward and really bad. I was getting like, it was just really bad, and it was a bridge that I didn't want to burn because we have such a small community in the crypto mining community, and I felt like I needed to just apologize publicly, although a lot of people didn't see that message as being inaccurate. And I still subscribe to the word shill, which is basically just you are promoting something without disclosing your close business relationship with it. So whether it was Flux or whether it was Octominer or what have you, a lot of these YouTubers, from what I was seeing, they would get a review product, or they were making Flux nodes, but they weren't telling us that it was a review product, or they weren't telling us it was for their business with Flux, or Flux is working with them. So that was all I was trying to get at, in terms of just understand that if you have a YouTuber talking to you, understand their motivations behind the scenes. And I got a lot of backlash that day for that video. Like, it was awkwardly bad. So, and that day was the merge. And it was really bad on all the live streams. People were like yelling and like getting really upset with with how I came across. But so I did an apology, which I did apologize on how I came across to them. My message is still to the viewers: understand that no matter what a YouTuber is telling you they're mining or whatever, there's always maybe something in the back end. And you'll also notice this, that when a YouTuber is mining a small coin and they're a big channel, they'll specifically say, I'm not going to tell you what I'm mining, because if I do, then everyone is going to jump onto that and I'm going to lose out on my profits. So the stuff that they do tell you, like, oh, I'm mining this, that's fine because everyone else is mining it, but they're not going to really tell you, right? So I guess the whole point was just do your own research, especially now. No longer is it just mine Ethereum. It's research a project, and really look into it, and then verify for yourself. Don't just kind of go to what to mine and just click away, right? So that's why I'm going down this 2-hour trip to go pick up the server. That's why I had a video call with someone from Filecoin today, because I wanted to be sure that what I'm getting into is not just about the money, it's about the project. And I feel like decentralized storage spaces the future, and I might pay a lot of money for it and it might go bankrupt, but it's kind of what I think is like, it's a pretty cool project. So anyways, that was the thing. I don't know if I needed to apologize. I did have the guys who were overtly aggressive towards me on live stream reach out to me afterwards and say, you know, we hashed it out, so that was good. And in fact, I'm gonna see if I can get on a stream with some of the guys that on the live stream that I felt maybe took it a little bit too far. But I'm gonna see if I can get on a live stream with them and kind of just have a beer and you know, just smooth things over on a live stream. Because yeah, we're all in this together. There's no reason to get upset about somebody else's video. I maybe shouldn't have called them out, and I used specific clips. But the point of the video was, don't listen to us, because we probably have motivations in the back end. Now, I specifically do not have any motivations, because I just grind into debt and I make $0 on YouTube. In fact, I'm even thinking of like posting my YouTube revenue, just so you guys don't think that I actually make money off of this, because I don't. Yeah, Cedric. So yeah, it was so to have that video come out and then have so much, like, it was bad. It was, I felt all day I was supposed to be, you know, part of the merge party, and like I was just completely cut off. I was getting yelled at. People were like using the word shill in the wrong context, just to like kind of make fun of me. But I mean, I think they just didn't know the word shill maybe, but that's exactly what I was trying to get at. Yeah, I think a lot of people are mining Casbah. I'm actually not mining anything. I'm just, I've got my 220 terabytes of chia, and basically I'm going to be selling a lot of my coins to pay for this project on Filecoin. And it seems as though my return on investment for Filecoin is not going to be for the next 18 months minimum. That's kind of the trajectory that they show. So depending on how much, it's actually a quite complicated system, and I'll go through a lot of this in my videos, to be honest. After I understand it, I still don't fully understand the whole economics of it, but once I do, then I'm going to be able to explain it to you guys in a little better viewpoint. So yeah, so basically right now I'm just doing chia. We'll eventually be doing Filecoin, but this is going to be a couple of months of, this might take me like 2 or more months to get started. And I'm finishing up building a 8x3070 rig. So it'll be like the most efficient cards I have, 3070 rig, and I might look at spec mining something. But one of the really cool project ideas, Octomiter reached out to me, and I made a bet with them that my server case that I built with the 3070s, whatever, 8x3070s, will have better temperatures, be cheaper, and less power consuming than one of their Octominer 8s. And so this was before the blow up at the merge. They were willing to do a project with me where they would send me one of their Octominer 8s, and I would do a side-by-side comparison of the thermals and power consumption and cost. And whoever loses the bet has to wear the shirt of the other person. So I would have to wear the shirt of Octominer for a couple of my streams, and or if my thermals win in my 8x3070s, then they have to wear a custom computing shirt on one of their streams. So I think that would be a fun project. I don't know if that still stands because, like I said, what happened during the merge, like bridges were probably burnt, and I might be, may not be the most favorite person in the room anymore. But thanks, Cedric. Yes, I do love this PlayStation shirt. I get a lot of comments on it. Well, I've got about 40 more minutes of driving, but I don't think I'm going to be streaming the whole 40 minutes. So if you guys got more questions, hit me up, and then I might pull over and grab a Tim Hortons coffee or something just to make it the rest of the way, and then I'll be grabbing a beer somewhere in Montreal after I pick up the server case, and then heading home. So yes, toss out some more messages or let me know if there's anything else you want to talk about. I don't really want to leave it on the merge discussions, because that it's just salty about it still a little bit. So nice. Thanks, boys. That means a lot. That's awesome. Fuck yeah. See, I got a good community. Fucking hell right. Yeah. Let's do this. See? I got some people who respect me. That's awesome, man. All right. Now I'm pumped again. Thanks for that lift up, eyes. That's good. I am just a regular guy like you. I'm just literally, I put a little bit of my life on YouTube, and that's basically the only difference. Like, I just a guy who loves tech, and I've been in server development since like 20 years ago. So building computers for almost like 30 years actually, yeah. So I do know my shit, that's for sure. Yeah. That's why I did that thermal video when everyone was saying like, get the grow tent, do this, do that, and I was like, everybody stop. Just stop. Just stop it with this. I was like, this is what you should do. It's not that hard. Just focus on these 3 fundamentals and I'll show you. And that's also why I got another like 50 cards, because a lot of people were saying that I didn't have enough power draw and cards to really like demonstrate my thermal like system. So I was like, all right, I need to get 50 more cards. And then the merge happened, and now nobody's mining. So but anyways, we had I think we had 71 cards in there at one point, which was awesome. And I would have put another 50 or another 50 more cards in there for sure if they were still mining. But well, thanks again for the feel goods, boys. Cedric, go to work or bed, one or the other. Ryan, I'll post a little video of what you did for me, so thank you again for all of that stuff. And Pedro, thanks for swinging by, man. It's always nice to see some people who actually are watching my videos, interact with them. So that's awesome to be able to see you guys and just interact with you guys while I'm going to get a new server. Crazy times. All right, guys, I'm gonna sign off. Thanks again for everything. I'll definitely post a video of me when I get this video, the server, and love all of you. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you guys on the next one.